Hi guys, welcome back to Karamia's Corner. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today I wanted to start a new series and invite you to a fun junk journal challenge. It's been a while since I made a true junk journal, so I thought I would revisit it and create my own challenge, and I'll call it Karamia's Recycled Junk Journal Challenge 2021, and we'll be using items that we already have, so all the materials are free. We're going to upcycle, recycle. It's going to be super fun. So if you're new to junk journaling, don't have the materials, don't worry, you can join in. And if you are a junk journal lover and would like to try making one, then this might be a great challenge for you. So the last time I made one was over a year ago, and it was a collaboration with April, also known here on YouTube as Pink Odd Bird. She is a super talented journal maker. If you'd like to see the process of how I made this journal and also see the signatures inside, I can link the playlist at the end. So everything we used for that project was items we already had. So this will be a 3-part series. We'll work on showing you what materials you can use for this challenge, and we'll work on the cover and picking a theme for today's journal. The second video we'll be working on pages, putting on the signatures, and the third video will be our final flip through of our completed junk journal. So let's start off with what we can use for our covers. Let's talk about journal covers and what you can use. So we always order from Amazon. A lot of us have done that. We also have some items in our pantries that have wonderful cardboard bases that will be perfect for your junk journal covers. So here's one that was packaging for a tablecloth, and I love that it's already scored here. You have about 1.5 inch spine. I can cut it to size and make a traveler's notebook style journal. Here's one that I think will be perfect for a lap book junk journal. Love that. And then we have our Amazon boxes. So I just cut these down to size, and I'll decide later which one we'll pick for this project. But isn't that great? It's already made for you. These are really sturdy, so I love that. And then we have this other big guy here that you can definitely, again, cut to the size that you want. And I'll be showing you a couple examples of the ones that I've made using some of these cardboard packagings. Another option is when you buy items for the household or some technology stuff, like my husband had purchased a bike and this came with it, so I thought that was pretty cool. It has pockets, it has a magnet closure, so all I have to do is decorate the front and back and make it my own. And then we have these really popular boxes that a lot of journal makers have shown on YouTube. We have cereal boxes, and then we have these pasta boxes. You can make windows for your journal, or you can also use them as a journal card in your journals. So I'm going to show you just a couple ephemera booklets that I've used or made using those packaging boxes. So here's one I made using a cereal box, and I love it. It's so easy. I just covered it with fabric, and then inside we have our ephemera in here. And today I'm going to be doing the same thing, or at least for this series, we're going to be doing a no-stitch journal. So it'll be super fun and easy. Here's another ephemera booklet that I made using the cardboard packaging that the ephemera came in. So nothing wasted, everything was upcycled, and then just added the ephemera inside. This was super fun to make as well. Now let's talk about what can we get for free that we can use for our journal pages. For our pages, you can definitely find a lot of these items at home too. Now, if you have kids that go to school, or you have nephews and nieces that go to school, check around and ask them if they have these reading little booklets at home because these are perfect to add to junk journals. So they have really fun images here that you can reuse. These were never written on, so you can use that as a journaling spot. And then here's my daughter Emmy's old writing journal at school. She's used most of the pages, but I can see that I can still use a number of these pages for this journal that I'll be making with you guys. So that's super cool. We have another journal here that she had. It's a grid line journal with some graphing paper that I can use. She also had this for preschool, and I have this, and this is so fun also to use for a journal. So I have that. And then the mail, we always get junk mail. So I love getting my Costco magazines because there are some fun images that you can use. Here's one where you have a map. So depending on the theme of your journal, you can select images there. For the more vintage feel, I thought this Trader Joe's flyer, you can see it was from 2019, and it's time to use this, so I think this will be great. Then you have these magazines, and all kinds of magazines that you might have that you're not using can add some color and interest to our junk journals. And then we have the old calendars, and these are so fun because a lot of them come with beautiful images. So this was from 2017, but look at this beautiful image on the flip side there with the tulips. We have this one with the cherry blossoms, and then I love this one, has that autumn feel on the lake. And then we have these windowed envelopes that we've seen a lot of crafters and journals alter. We can do the same and use this. So my daughter Lil got a lot of mail too from different colleges, and that's where these envelopes came from, so I can definitely use that. We have another one here, another Trader Joe's flyer. And then this was packaging from an Etsy order that I had placed and received, so this will be fun to use for maybe a cover or a page. And my daughter Lil, this is where her earlier piano books, and we don't really need it anymore. She doesn't need it anymore, so I thought I can use some of these pages for this challenge. So now that we have that for our pages that we can find at home, let me show you some items that you can get for free at your library. So our library has a section or a shelf when you go in, and check with your library too if they have it, but they have free magazines, they have free little booklets. I got this encyclopedia for free, so we can use this. Lots of fun images. You can see that this was torn, and there are some missing pieces, but look at these beautiful fun images. I also got this for free at my local library, and it's a cross-stitch little magazine. How pretty are the images in there as well, so you can use that. Then you have your local bakery or market. This one I got from Draeger's Market, and I just love the images of the cake. I love desserts, so this one just caught my eye, and I thought the images were really fun. So we have that. And then you have your local hardware store where you can get these wonderful little folder booklets. You can use this too for the base of your junk journal, or you can cut out the images that you would like and use it for your journal card. So here's one of them. Here's one that has different themes. You have colors. Look at these images. They're so pretty, so we can definitely play around and decide which ones will fit. And then just a note, the theme is open to you. You can pick the theme of your journal, whatever you would like, that you would feel. If you want to make kind of a vintage theme, it's open to any theme. So that is up to you. So we have these. Aren't these fun images? Like if you want to do a retro theme, look at that. You can already use that. And again, these would also make great bases for your journal. Isn't that pretty? It's just beautiful. I love it. And these again are free. So other things we can use are more of these paint sample brochures that have wonderful images for our flip outs in our journal. Or if you want to make a really tiny journal, you could use this as a little booklet. And then we have these little samples that you can get for colors. You can use them as journal cards. So I picked different colors that I kind of like. I like pastels. And then we have this again, which is super fun images. And then let me show you a few other items that you can definitely use for your journal cards. So we have Realty flyers, and these are pretty nice thick cardstock that they printed it on, so you can definitely use that. We have some packaging. When I bought a book, this came with it. This is again from the same market. And then this one was packaging, like it was something that came with something that my husband had ordered. But I like the fact that it looks so grungy, and I thought this would be a great piece to add to our journal pages. Oh, here's another one here that I got. I was at PetSmart buying dog food. How cute is this brochure with the dog and the flowers? And again, if you look through, you might find some items that you would like to use, or you could use the booklet and just alter the pages and make it your own. So how fun is that brochure? And then we have our clothing tags that I love to actually reuse. Like here's one with that beautiful flower. We have this one. We have this other one. I think this is from Daiso. This one came from a pair of jeans. My daughter had this from her Forever 21. So all these different sizes. I love this one. And this one with the twine. This one says Sweet Rain. And then I have, these come with some of my sweaters and blouses. And I thought this would be great to use and pick one of these buttons possibly to use as a closure or just to add some interest to the pages of our journal. So there's so many fun items that you already have at home. And then we also have our paper bags that we can use for the cover to create some interest there and give it a more organic look. And then I have, you guys have been sub to me, you know that I love Daiso, so once in a while I forget my reusable bag and I have to buy one of their paper bags, so this will be fun to use as well. And then we have these plastic bags that have wonderful images on there too that we'll figure out what we can use them for. Now in terms of other packaging from the grocery, like this is one that had lemon in it, but this would make great to use for texture or just to create it for a background maybe. And then I have this one here. I was thinking the same, just adding texture to the page of our journal, even using it as a stencil because there are shapes on it. This one has a diamond shape, so if you want to create a little imprint on your paper, then you can add and use these. I also found this, I think this came with some socks, and it reminded me of a photo film strip. So I thought maybe we can use that for stenciling as well. And then I have this piece here that I think would be great. So this was part of, again, little gift package. Beautiful piece that you can use for a closure. So we have that. And then we have this, like we have a chopstick that comes with the food we order when they deliver. we'll figure out also how to use that. And look at that paper, isn't that pretty? And then here's one that came with a lip brush, and I like to reuse the packaging for my specimen cards and use actual card in here for a bookmark or journaling card as well. Also, these are really popular using Kleenex boxes. How fun are these? So you have those. I have another tissue box that might be fun to use. I love the colors and the design. We have this. Might be able to use that, I don't know. And then we have our little gift card holder. So this one had a little gift that my daughter had, and just by looking at that, that could create a beautiful windowed journal. We have another one here that we can use too. And then we have our books that have these dust covers, and sometimes we don't really need them. But look at this. How pretty is the inside? And we already have some words in here. I could probably even use this as a little book plate for my journal. So we have that one. More packaging that you can use. This was a little gift bag that came. We have plastic that we can use for other elements of our journal. And finally, tissue paper that we get from gift wrapping. And this one, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was either from my friend Bibi or Terry. But I have a bunch of these that I keep because I love to reuse them and add them to my junk journals. So now that you know all the materials that you can use that you've already had probably at home that you don't need to buy, let's pick a theme and you pick yours. Let me look at what I have here and let's jump in and start making our journal cover. So now let's work on the cover. So for the theme of this junk journal, after looking at all my materials, I'm a big fan of flowers, florals, and botanicals. So I think I'm going to go with that theme. And when I saw this box, I said this would make a great window on the cover. And so let's get started. I'm going to use my Lucky's bag as the base cover of my journal. So I'm going to wrap it on top of it, and then we'll just kind of wing it and see where it takes us. So I went ahead and cut this open so that that would save us a little bit of time. And on the back side, I put my double side tape. Now you can use glue. And when you start putting your journal together, feel free to use your sewing machine or do some slow stitching if you would like to add those elements. In this case, I'll be using some double side tape. So let me just take this off. And let's put the cover of our journal on first. Alright guys, so I have my double side tape ready to go. I'm just going to flip this over and we are slowly going to lay down our cover. I just want to make sure. Okay. Now I'm just bending it. That's the nice thing about the plastic. It's so flexible, so it's so easy. So we have that part on, and I'm going to cut these on the side here, and we're going to adhere it again. I'll put this over like that and add more embellishments and some paper inside and work on our outside part. So now I'm just cutting this part on an angle. We don't need this excess paper. And mind you, there will be some imperfections here, but that's going to be all covered up with paper, so I'm going to cut this side now. So I usually don't cut too close to the end here, just so we have enough coverage for a cover. Cut that. So you can also use gift wrapping paper if you have rolls that you have laying around and have a few left that you have enough to use for your cover, feel free to use that as well. Let's see here. Okay, so now let me get more double-sided tape and I'm gonna fold it over like this and do the same on this side. Be right back. All right, we got our double-sided glue and we are just going to fold these over. Turn it towards me. You can also use old fabric, maybe like a tablecloth that you have at home for your cover. I just decided I'd use this plastic bag, but now that I'm thinking of it, that would have been nice to use some old napkins. All right, so we have that part done. Let's work on this area here so it looks nice and clean. So remember this dust cover? I love the pink of the inside. So I want to, and I like what it says here, so I might put this one on the spine. And I'm gonna put these other two because I can always write on it. I'm gonna cut it to size, do a little stitching around it, and I'll be right back. I have my cards stitched and I put some double-sided glue. I'll start with the spine here and put this, so this will be my guide when I line up my other pieces here. I just thought this was interesting, you know, because it's my journal and when you open it, nothing to see here. So for this side, I decided to go with this calendar piece because I want to use the other half of this for the front cover, and I'll show you that. Let me just turn this so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to our... Okay. Isn't that beautiful, the cherry blossoms? And then we have our pink sheet here. And I'll just bring it closest to the score line. I see a little bit of the brown, but that's okay. It is a junk journal. So we have that. Now let's work on this part. So I went ahead and cut this piece from our tissue box. It was from this piece, and we will use it as a frame for our cover. And this is, since the gray is a little bit stark, I want to put something that brings a little more color to the background, and I thought we could add some texture and use some of that netting from that lemon. So I'm just laying it out here to see how that looks. I think that's nice and bright. And I also remembered that I had some dried flowers, so here's a few we can choose from. So I have these little guys. I think this white one might have been a daisy. This is one of the bushes. And then I have an orchid, little cherry blossom, and baby's breath. So we have this baby's breath, and I think that white will stand out in the colors. We might add a few of the other flowers on there. Now let me just pull our little plastic sheet that I'd shown you earlier. And hold on. We're gonna put this in here. Just want to make sure it's, oh, here we go. See, that was the back side, and this will be the front. Okay, let me just cut this. Okay, I have our little piece here. I'm gonna put a little glue and just put our the flowers, just a stem, put a little dab of glue there so it doesn't shift once. Oh my, and you know how once the flowers are pressed, it can be very delicate. I'm gonna seal it. Hold on, let me just take out that glue string. And I think we can add one more piece of flower. Let's see if this one fits the scale. I think that'll look great. What do you think, guys? I mean, I could have used glue, but since the heating tool is right here, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to seal that and tape it. I just want to size it up and see. I think that looks great. Okay, so I'm going to use some tape, seal our little window with our pressed flowers, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, just move the cover away so we can see what we're working with. We have our plastic here that's sealed up with our dried flowers. Now I'm going to put this on top. Just want to make sure. So anything here on the side I will be trimming off. And then we will be sticking this down on our cover, but there it is. You have like a little windowed dried flower, and again, these are things that you already have around you. You can dry the flowers ahead of time and then use it. So I'm just trimming a little bit of that, and I think I'm going to round off these edges. Oopsie, forgot there's double side back there that's sticking to our. And if you want to get that rounded edge, you can also do that with your scissors. Now I'm going to pull our cover back here, and we are going to stick our little pink sheet right over here. And then using my frame, I just want to mark the areas where I will be putting a little glue to hold down our net. And I'm just going to kind of let it fall in place like this. It doesn't have to be straight or perfect. I think the more imperfect it is, the better looking it will be. So we'll do it this way. So put a little glue on each side to hold it down. Just to hold it in place. I need one of those Dollar Tree like thimbles that are good for your hot glue. That would come handy right about now. I'm going to stretch this out because that's where our image will be sitting, and we don't want it to look all crumpled up like that. So give it a quick test with our frame. What do you think, guys? That looks good. Not quite happy with this side, but we'll see. I might add something back there. Not sure what yet, but this looks fine to me. I'm going to go ahead and attach that. Put some glue on there. I'm gonna just use my glue stick and put it down. That looks pretty good. Okay. So here's our cover, and I had shown you some gift wrapping tissue that one of my crafty friends had given me. I think we could maybe add some here, or maybe on this side, or is that too busy? I don't know. Let's see. Trying to see which of these two look a little bit more. I think this might work. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I might go with this one and just trim that right here. And glue it on. Okay, so we have that part, and this is what our cover looks like at the moment. Now we have this back side. Should we continue the ruffles in the back? I just don't like this fold, so I might just cover that up and put that on there. Let's do that. And we'll trim that off. The next part is to create what we're doing today is for our binding of our signatures. We will be using some baker's twine. You can also use yarn, and it is a thread binding is what they call it. So let me get that real quick. So I have my baker's twine, and what we're going to do is wrap it around our spine like this, and that's going to be holding our signatures. So I went ahead and measured out this one. It's about 5 of the height of your book, and so you just want to have a little extra here at the top so that we can tie our strings at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this around and add at least 4 of these in here. And you can add as many or as little as you would like, depending on how many signatures you'll be holding in your junk journal. So we got our 4th one. I'm going to flip it over and pull that up here. So you can adjust this accordingly. So I'm just going to push this 1, 2, 3, 4 in like this, and I am going to put this other one here over and under, and I'm gonna go ahead and tie a knot. And we can trim this later. I'm planning to add maybe a few embellishments in there. Alright, so now that we have put in our string binding, the next fun part to making this journal is creating our signatures, putting our pages together. So join me next time for part 2. I'd love to see how you make yours and what theme you picked. So if you want to join this challenge, make sure to attach the hashtag on your title, Cara Mia's Recycled Junk Journal Challenge 2021. And that way I can add you to the playlist of whoever wants to do the collab and join this little fun challenge. Again, thanks for watching Karamia's Corner. See you next time. Bye.